Well, it's been a little over a week since the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle theatrical run in Japan ended, and we are already starting to get some new information. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and to another video. Today's gonna be a quick update because we got some news last night. I know, it's like kind of crazy. I didn't really see it coming. I knew there was gonna be a little event, but they weren't really saying that they were gonna be announcing anything, so I wasn't expecting much. However, I wouldn't even really call this a major announcement, but I do like to keep y'all updated. I told you I would, so here we are. And if you are new at the channel, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Hannah, and I am a Demon Slayer enthusiast, and I've been keeping everyone updated on whenever new announcements come, as well as give you some predictions on what I think that kind of announcement means. So if you are interested in following along and getting updates that you know will be factual and not just clickbait like those Instagram accounts like to do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I do think that we're not going to get a ton of huge announcements. I think we're still quite a ways from getting any announcements regarding the second movie, which I'll talk about in a moment. But I do think we're gonna start to get more and more little bits of information throughout this year leading up to next year. So it might start to pick up a little bit. Who knows? But we're gonna dive right into today's video. But before we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. If you are interested in getting some member exclusive perks like early access to videos, fun emojis and badges, access to polls to decide what videos I do next and what characters I decide, along with some other perks, make sure you hit that join button. But with that, let's get into it. So I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot this little event was happening, which by the way, y'all, reminder, they just had Anime Japan a few weeks ago, and it was like this big event where they didn't say anything. They waited till they could do a Demon Slayer specific event because they always do it at specifically Demon Slayer events. That continues to remain true. So just a reminder, anytime you see on Instagram someone say, oh, Jump Fest is coming up, we're gonna get new information on Demon Slayer. Oh, Anime Japan's coming up, we're going to get information on Demon Slayer. They're wrong. But let's go over what came out. So it was announced that the Blu-ray DVD release of Infinity Castle Chapter 1 Akaza's Return is coming out in Japan July 29th of 2026. I'm not gonna lie, that's a really long time. That's over a year after it came out in theaters. They're really stretching things out. Now, for the record, the Blu-ray release for Mugen Train, which I always like to compare this one to just because Mugen Train's the only other movie of this entire series. That Blu-ray release came out June 16th of 2021, and the movie came out in theaters October of 2020, so much shorter period of time in between. I do think there's a reason for them stretching this out. It feels very egregiously long. It is very long. Over a year in between the movie's release in theaters and the Blu-ray release is pretty extreme, but the theatrical run was also like 9 months long, so they're really stretching things out. And I think that's most likely because they are just trying to slowly give us new things to look forward to in between these movies coming out, because normally their schedule has always been a new release, like a new season, usually every 14 to 16 months. So they're not going to be able to do that with these movies, as we can already tell, because that would mean that the second movie would be coming out in like October of this year, which obviously, especially with this coming out in July, that there's no way that's happening. Like, if anything, this Blu-ray release date proves that the second movie is not coming out until at least next year. So I think they're just really stretching things out because they're just trying to make it so that there's things rather than just giving it all at once and going a year without anything new. Like it or not, like that's just the way it is. I think it's egregiously long, I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. Now, keep in mind that this is only the Japanese release, so of course we will have to wait longer in other countries for an official release here. For the record, for Mugen Train, it came out in June for Japan, and it didn't come out until December for pretty much everywhere else. I don't necessarily think the wait is going to be that long. When you think about the timeline of Mugen Train, there's a couple different factors, like it was in the middle of COVID, and it was the beginning of the show, so it wasn't necessarily as popular, although Mugen Train did perform better in Japanese theaters than Infinity Castle did, but Infinity Castle performed way better internationally, and I think that's important to note, because I believe since Demon Slayer is a much bigger phenomenon across the world now, I think we're gonna get a much shorter delay in between the Blu-ray coming out in Japan and it coming out here. In fact, it might be around the same amount of time as it was for the movie delay, which of course we got the movie in September, so I would expect the Blu-ray to come out around September of this year, which is really far away. But it is already midway through April, and you know, I feel like New Year's Day was yesterday, so time is flying by really quickly. Now, also keep in mind, Mugen Train came out on Crunchyroll before Blu-ray hit here in America. Again, do I think that's gonna happen this time around? I don't think so, because I don't think there's gonna be as long of a delay, but that's just like a side note, is it did hit Crunchyroll before that. It's really hard to predict exactly, but I do know we're going to be getting this stuff at least this year. I saw a lot of people talking about the idea that there wasn't going to be anything new, mostly because of that freaking typo in that one tweet. I made a video on it, but they accidentally put like only available in theaters in 2026, and everyone was like, you mean we can't watch it any other way for the entirety of 2026? And it took a while, but they eventually deleted that tweet. But that was the news. I know it's not a lot, but I promised y'all I would be making update videos as soon as I got information, and I would say this is pretty important information because it is a step forward in us being able to watch this video outside of theaters. Now, there is one thing, and I've already talked about the confirmation multiple times that this second movie is not going to come out until at least summer of next year. I think that this is just like the final nail in the proverbial coffin, I guess, to confirm that that will be the earliest it comes out. Like I said, I just don't think that they're going to be releasing the next movie in theaters so close to this first one being released on Blu-ray. So I think that it's gonna come out probably in the summer of next year. I think movie 2, they're setting it up to just be like July of next year. And then movie 3 would be July of 2029. I'll be 33. And that would make sense because then that would be a 10-year-long anime run, and I don't see why they'd want to do that. But I do think that the soundtrack should come out with the Blu-ray release too, that's exciting. That gets me excited because I really, really, really am looking forward to listening to this soundtrack. I think that especially marked Gyu. Oh, the way my soul left my body when I was listening to that organ come in, and the animation was also stunning. Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, now I'm just rambling. That's what we got. I'll keep y'all updated once we know the release of the Blu-ray for other countries. I don't think they're going to have like a special event for it. I think it's just going to be like Crunchyroll announces it's on its store soon or whatever. But that is what the news was. And I think this is just going to continue us in the route of getting closer and closer to some information regarding the next movie, which I think will come at the end of this year. I mean, we're in 2026 and we have been, and I still feel like it's 2025. We will get probably, this is a prediction, this is not fact, I think we will get information regarding the second movie probably in December of this year, and it'll probably just give us like, it's coming out 2027. They're super consistent with the way they announce things. That's what they did for Infinity Castle Part 1. It's obvious that the second movie is not coming out this year, so I think that they'll just kind of follow the same schedule. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next one. Matane!